Hi, I'm Bethany, and this is Crafting with Bethany. Welcome to my crafting studio. It's also a studio apartment. I'm very excited about today's episode of Crafting with Bethany. We're doing this for the Gamer Vescent website, which is a gaming website. And for that reason, we'll be making Splicer masks from BioShock. Perfect for Halloween, cosplay, or just walking around your apartment when you feel like a lunatic. Now you're going to need a few supplies. The first and most important is your very own frightening pink bunny mask. Now you're probably asking, where can I get a bunny mask like that? Well, the answer is Walmart or eBay. Secondly, you'll be needing lots of paper. We'll be doing decoupage. Now this is the kind of paper you can find in any UPS packing box. So to find this kind of paper, get your hands on some, feel free to sleep with your UPS man or just ask him for something. We're also going to be needing Mod Podge, decoupage glue, gold acrylic paint, this razor blade paint scraper, you can find at any hardware store, and watercolor. Mix it up, it looks like blood. Well, let's get started. The first thing we need to do is remove our pink bunny mask from the cardboard backing. Ta-da! Now this is where things get fun. The first thing we're going to have to do is remove everything not BioShock from this mask. All these feathers, the whiskers, all of it. And this is a fun part. You simply take it and you rip it off. After you're done with that, your mask will look a little something more like this. Still a mess, which is where the paint scraper comes down. Use your paint scraper, get rid of all the unsightly glue around the edges, all of the glue. You just scrape and scrape and scrape and scrape until it all comes off. Does my neck look like a vagina? When you're done scraping, you will have this pristine, pink, simple mask. Still glittery, but we'll take care of that. Now the next step is really important. You'll see here, from the one that I've already made, that the BioShock mask ears have been cut, just so it'll make them a little more fearsome and less rounded. So you'll need a pencil and a pair of scissors to take care of that. So what I did here was draw very lightly in pencil along the outline here, just very carefully to show us where we're going to need to cut using the scissors. Now this part is very tricky. You don't want to break the mask, it's very rigid plastic, so you have to be very careful as you're cutting along the line. I recommend using very sharp scissors or tin snips. And when you're done with that, it'll look a little more like this. Now let's do the other ear. Now comes the really fun part. This is a cup of Mod Podge. Mod Podge is a type of glue used for decoupage. If you don't have access to Mod Podge, you can use Elmer's glue. Now what I've done here is taken a plastic cup from my last kegger, cut it in half, added some glue, put a little water in it, and mixed it up. Now it's perfect for decoupage. How do you decoupage? Well, I'll show you. Okay? Here's the mask. And we're going to take the paper. You tear it into tiny strips, dip it in the glue, lay it very carefully onto the mask, and smooth it so the edges stick down. It'll look a little like this. Now, this is the longest and most tedious part of the project. It will probably take me 5 or 6 days, and lots of vodka to get through this part. So, I'll ask you to bear with me. Luckily, you won't be watching in real time. Just keep adding layers. Keep adding layers. You'll be really pleased with the result, I promise. I promise. This isn't a task for naught. Getting glue everywhere. As you can see, we're slowly making progress with our decoupage. It's starting to come together a little bit. You're going to have little bits that show through with the pink especially. You want to go back through with tinier pieces and make sure you glue in all of the extra spaces and right to the edge. You can always go over the edge and then trim it a little after it's dry, but we want it to kind of look rough and ragged. You'll soon discover the most important rule of decoupage is not to procrastinate. Oh, come on. Now, when we're done with the decoupage, the mask will look something like this. Now you'll notice it's a little rough around the eye holes. There's a little extra paper in there to cover up the glitter, but we're going to be gluing that down so it'll be nice and neat when we're completely finished. Are you ready for the fun part? Because things are about to get really, really fun. Now that we're done with the decoupage portion of the project, we're going to be working on the decorating part of the project. The first thing you're going to want to do is get a pencil and draw very lightly on your mask where you want your gold detailing to go. You can look up a pattern online or just do it freehand. But definitely pencil the pattern on beforehand or your mask will turn out ugly. Here's the gold paint and here's a angled paintbrush. Perfect for detailing. You're going to want to just take the paint and begin to paint on your pattern. This is the completed mask with the gold detailing. Up next, blood spatter. Now we want the blood to look as realistic as possible, so look for watercolors in the shades of crimson and burnt umber. It'll need to be just a little bit runny. Now I keep promising you fun parts, but this is actually the funnest part. Right here. Lay the mask on some paper towels to keep from making a mess. Get your paint and a toothbrush. Get just a little bit of paint on your toothbrush and then just flick it. Your mask gets splattered with blood. Are you ready for Rapture's 1958 New Year's party? Now you are. Do you hear that? That's the sound of my downstairs neighbor and his girlfriend fighting again. That also means this is the end of another episode of Crafting with Bethany. I'd like to thank you for joining me, and happy crafting.